Okay, so this is our bioinformatics uh, data, the list file for the second time it was offered. It says second semester, it's 2006. This is my short description of my study that I put in, just like you did when you entered your QStorts. And now we start with a very long list of tables that are created as part of the list file. Here I've already taken the list file, opened it up in Notepad, and now I am looking at it as a PDF. I like PDFs because it allows me to label, right? I have the full Adobe Acrobat Pro through the university, and if you don't have that, I highly recommend it. Usually you can buy it through the university for home use pretty cheaply. Anyway, here's the correlation matrix between the sorts, right? And we just keep going, right? Cumulative commonalities matrix. That's really more, it's really more for our factor analysis than it is for us. We're not really interested. So here's our first table that we're interested in. It's the factor matrix with X indicating a defining sort. And so here we see our X's, right? And each one of these X's represents a flag. So this is where we have flagged each of the sorts on a factor, although I think there might be, no, I guess this one, everybody is represented by a factor or a view. And so this is most typically a table that you would see in a Q study journal article. If you were presenting something at a conference, you'd probably show the factor matrix. Here, although it doesn't symbolize here, there is each of these names, the sort ID has some kind of identifier, and I might want to type it into here, right? So here would be my notes, right? I might say like the first letter, right? First letter equals major. So like C equals computer science, B equals biology, etc. And then here, right, the second letter equals what their standing is. So J would, for instance, be junior, G equals grad student, etc. So I might want to make note here, right? M equals male, F equals female, and then the other scores there, those are some tests about how comfortable they were with both the concepts of computer science and biology. But like I said, it might make note of that on the list file just as I go through. Here's the rank statement totals with each factor. Again, not really that helpful. Here is the correlation between factor scores. Okay, this tells us something about how those factors, I'm going to just make this so it lets me scroll, how these factors happen to be correlated, so the similarities between the two views. And here we see that they're pretty different, right? So we don't, the first one, right, of course it's perfectly correlated with itself. So basically the two factors are correlated at 0.05, very minimal, so we're good to go. And so then the next thing we have is normalized factor scores for factor 1. And if we go there, we see our statements. And so this first statement here, that would be the +5. And I think there were two here that were +5. And then it goes from there. So I might want to label that if I cheat, so to speak, and come over here. I can see, I guess there was only one at +5. Here are those very statements, right? So here are the top 6 most agree statements. And then I could scroll down on that same table and find the 6 least agree. I just report grid position instead of z-scores because typically journal reviewers find that easier and I don't have to worry about getting them confused.